Here we go then, episode 60 of Beat the First Man with me, Reedy, welcoming you to the silliest show on YouTube. One day the BBC will get hold of this and you can all say you've been there from the start. So anyway, on today's episode, alongside all the usual madness, we are joined by the brilliant Dean Dovey on Zooming In, top musician, so make sure you tune in for that. And we'll also find out what Kian chooses this week for his Listen Up track. And there's loads more, so what we're waiting for? Roll the titles. So welcome back again, people, as we head into the 60s in terms of episode 60. Thanks once again to all of you who continue to support the show. If you are new to the show, welcome aboard the BTFM bus. Thank you for getting on board. Please do make sure you subscribe down below. That's very, very important. But even more important than subscribing down below, there's a couple of little house rules. We like those. They're good. So click the little like button at the end, especially if you've enjoyed it. If you haven't, meh. And but don't forget to ring the little bell so you never miss another episode again. And get involved. Leave your comments below. What have you liked? What haven't you liked? What did you think to Listen Up? Did you like Kian's choice of tracks for this week? This week's is a banger as well, by the way. So make sure you listen out for that. But anyway, let's move on to the part of the show we like to call How Old. And we've had enough of these Englishmen and Belgians, haven't we? So we all know where all the classic class How Olds come from, don't we? Of course we do. Back north of the border to sunny Scotland. So our man this week was born in Stirling. His first club was actually in Lancashire, where he was at Turf Moor, Happy Place Turf Moor. Yes, he played for Burnley, our man. He made 226 appearances, scoring 101 goals. He should be ashamed of himself. 101 goals for a Burnley player? Disgraceful behaviour. Whoever thought it? Anyway, he moved for a short spell at Leicester City before deciding his boyish looks were clearly better in claret and blue, because he signed for Aston Villa, having been at Burnley. He played 131 times for the Villa, scoring another 34 goals. He had a short spell with Oldham Athletic before he ended his career in the good old US of A at the brilliantly named Denver Dynamos. What a name that is for a football team. It's like a kids team. Anyway, a goal scoring machine of his time, but that's all lovely. But of course what we really want to know is when this picture of Andy Lockhead was taken. How old was he? Answer to be revealed later on in the show. Revealed even. It's not easy to say that word. Anyway, time for a bit of Dad v Lad fantasy football. Last week we went into it. I was looking to make it 3 wins on the spin as I closed the gap on Lad. So let's find out how we got on, shall we? So here it is. Dad v Lad. Fantasy football. So here we go. Another fantasy football Dad v Lad with me, Dad and Lad. Kian, how are we?
Not bad. Not too bad.
Good. Shall we get started?
I don't even know what last week's points were like, really. So go on.
We're looking at a winner and a loser.
I can guess because I was terrible last week.
You got your ass kicked.
Yeah, big time.
So last week's score, let me just read it out. Kian Barrett-Reed, cock and balls, 39.
I forgot that was my name, sorry.
Mark Reed, burnout no more, 56. It's a rout. So overall now, I'm only 9 points behind in the overall scores.
I'll pull away again. I'm convinced.
I don't know. I think you've blown it. I think you're straight. I mean, you even forgot to make Salah your captain.
Yeah, that was... Well, the problem was, right? So when you do it on your laptop, the save team bit's at the bottom, but it's not at the bottom when you do it on your phone. So I thought it saved it. And then I checked on Saturday. I was like, oh, Salah scored. Oh, he's not my captain. And Grealish is. Oh, he's not played.
I don't know about you people, anyone watching, but leave your comments below. But I think he's making excuses. What do you reckon?
There's no excuse there. I can pull up the laptop.
If you think Kian is making excuses, comment excuse maker below. Hashtag excuse maker.
There was no excuses. I had a bad week and it's going to come back now. It's fine.
All right, okay. Well, let's move on to this week then. So a little birdie tells me you might have made a few changes. In fact, you might have made wholesale changes.
Just a few, yeah.
So you've used something this week, haven't you?
Yeah, I've gone all like Newcastle and used my wild card.
Oh, it's a brave move. I've not used any yet.
The problem was there was loads of injuries and there was loads of players from the same team. I had 3 West Ham players. Who wants 3 West Ham players?
Not even West Ham want 3 West Ham players.
No, exactly. So
Evening, Steve Dean. Anyway, let's crack on, Kian. So let's start with goal. So what formation you gone?
Sean Dyche 4-4-2.
Oh, well, I've gone full on Sam Allardyce 4-4-2 as well, so we're all right. So goalkeeper, I'm sticking with Martinez of Villa. They've got Arsenal away, but I think he'd be all right. So I'm Martinez in goal.
I've stuck with Mendy because they've got Norwich. So
yeah, and to be fair, he had a good game last week.
He had a very good game.
Yeah, he was probably your saving grace of your team.
Yeah, he was.
So I'll go through my defence. So I've made one change in defence. So I've got Diaz is staying in, Cody of Wolves, Ben White, but I've put Dina in place of Pereira because Everton are at home to Watford. Watford are shit because we beat them. And Pereira because Leicester are away at Brentford. I think they'll concede at Brentford. So I've gone Diaz, Cody, White and Dina.
Yeah.
So who we got?
Well, I've got 3 of the same players now.
Oh, okay.
I've got Diaz in there as well. Cody has been transferred in for Cresswell.
Yeah.
Because I think we're a bit shit, so I don't think we'll score. So that's a banked 6 points there.
Get your money on Leeds winning this weekend.
Alonso is coming for Rudiger because he's injured. So
yeah.
And they're both playing Norwich. So
fair.
And White has stayed White's captain position.
Right, okay. So we've got 3 of the same defenders then. So let's move on to the midfield. 4 midfielders. So I have got going across the middle, Mo Salah. I've got 1 transfer. I have got rid of Billy Gilmore, who was on the bench, but I've made a shock drop in.
Yeah.
Jack Grealish is on the bench. I've dropped him. I brought in Yves Bissouma of Brighton.
Yeah.
Wilfred Zaha and Rafinha. So I've left Zaha in. He's doubtful because he's ill. So I've left him in with a theory that even if he does come out, Grealish just steps back in. But I've brought Bissouma in because Brighton are at home to Man City and Brighton are playing well at the moment. I think they could do something against Man City on Saturday.
Who knows?
Who knows? So who's your 4?
So I've got a new player in there. I've got 2 new players in there. I've got Son.
Yeah.
He's new. He's coming for Grealish because I just think Grealish just isn't the same Grealish that was at Villa.
Yeah.
I've got Dan James.
Okay.
I didn't have a lot of money.
Was he cheap?
He was very cheap. Yeah. I don't think he'll get me many points, but he's just there, really.
Yeah.
Salah and then Rafinha.
Right, okay. And then up front, I've gone for a couple of old experienced heads, Jamie Vardy and Danny Ings have kept their places up front.
I'll let you guess one of my strikers if you want to.
Patrick Bamford.
No, Antonio.
Lukaku.
And Antonio.
Fair enough. Lukaku against Norwich at home. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that could cause me some problems. So on the bench, I am left with Ben Foster, Pereira, Grealish, and Ivan Toney.
My bench now is Foster. That's where all the changes have been made, really. Foster's come on. He's still on the bench. Gilmore's been taken out because he's injured for Dane Scarlett. Again, he's cheap.
Who's he?
He plays for Spurs, I think.
Does he? I've never heard.
He's
sorry,
like my
Dane,
age.
I've never heard of you.
I think he is genuinely my age.
Brilliant.
Ailing's come out for Mings because is he dead? Where is he?
His knee's broken.
Yeah. And then Oriol Romeu has come in for Obafemi because Obafemi plays for Spurs. No, not Spurs, Swansea.
Yeah, you finally got rid of your Swansea player.
Yeah.
3 years after they got relegated.
He's finally gone.
Let's move on to vice captain. So vice captain, I've gone Danny Ings because Villa are away at Arsenal. Villa always score goals. Danny Ings scored at the weekend. He does tend to score in little batches, so I think Danny Ings will notch again this weekend. So Danny Ings is my vice captain.
It's like I've gone for a new signing as my vice captain, and Son.
Yeah,
gone in there.
Okay, well, captain. Go on, you go first on captain.
I think mine's pretty obvious, really. I've gone for Lukaku.
Yeah, I can't argue with that as you've got Lukaku. Well, I've gone Rafinha. I think he's going to tear it up. He's had a week off.
Yeah.
He's flying after Brazil. I think he's going to absolutely come out of the traps on Saturday. And I just think he could notch.
I do hope so.
He needs to.
Yes.
So we'll quickly review the league table and where you are. So you are now 15th on 442 points. So you are 108 behind the leader. I am now 17th, just 2 places behind you on 433 points. But we're both well clear of relegation. We won't be playing Fantasy Championship next season as it stands, which is all good. Yeah. So let's see how this week goes. You're relying on Lukaku and Antonio. It's all about Ings and Vardy for me. Kian, thank you so much, mate. We look forward to seeing your listen up choice later on in the show. But for now, it's back to the show.
See you in a bit.
So there we have it. It was a rout. I battered him. I absolutely battered him. For the 3rd week on the spin, meaning the overall gap is now just 9 points. This is his choice of game as well. And he's 9 points in front. So he's even thrown in his wild card this week. So he's getting desperate now. He's getting desperate. Gary Hamilton and his Carjar Warriors, they still lead the way at the top. Even they're looking worried at this late resurgence that I'm having, it has to be said. And down the bottom, Trish Barrett and her Waiters Waifs have cemented their place at the bottom as Elvis Chatawar has even pulled away now. So, new feature klaxon. Wah, wah, wah. I didn't have the bell. Anyway, next week there'll be a brand new feature. We will be digging into the world of Sunday football. Now, if you've never played Sunday football, because I realise it's not quite the thing it once was, trust me, you're in for a treat. So next week we will have part 1 of Easy Like Sunday Morning. Trust me, tune in next week as we talk all things Sunday football. Beautiful, beautiful game. Anyway, time for a bit of a Stoke Gabriel update. Well, it's been a frustrating couple of weeks for the boys. Last weekend there was a 2-0 defeat in the Cup. In midweek they entertained Ottery St Mary. The game kicked off like a rocket. Literally, it was a goal in 30 seconds. Sadly, it was Ottery St Mary that actually scored it, and it ended up being a 5-0 reverse. So the bad news is the boys at Stoke Gabriel now sit bottom of the table on goal difference, with Sidmouth just above us. But it's a nice, easy one today. At home to 3rd placed Ivybridge. What could possibly go wrong? Today's the day for a shock. I feel it in my water. There's something about the Stoke Gabriel boys that's bubbling up. And I just got a little feeling maybe today we might be creating a little section for next week's show. Let's wait and see, shall we? Anyway, here he is. Everyone's favourite bear. Well, at least that's what he keeps telling me anyway. So how are we, Ted? Yeah, I'm good, Reedy. And I am everybody's favourite bear. Any more of that chat and we'll have some Squid Games on here. No thanks, Ted. I think we might give that a miss. Come on, Reedy. Me and you, a game of hopscotch. Loser drops off the show. I don't mean to be funny, Ted, but a game of hopscotch. I don't think you'd be that good at hopscotch with these. Are you joking, Reedy? These paws are lightning quick when they need to be. Whatever, Ted. Anyway, we're not doing that. So how's your week been? Anything? No? It's been alright, Reedy. It's been a bit of a meh week, to be honest. Oh, you not had a great one then? Reedy, I'm not being funny. It's these dark nights. I mean, I can't be done with them. I hate carrots and my eyesight is shit. I mean, look at these eyes. What am I meant to see with these things? Yeah, that's a fair point. Bring back summer, I say, Ted. At least it's not snowing. This is true, but we don't need any snow. You're right, we don't need any snow. Anyway, Ted, have you got any nominations for this week? We've completely gone off piece talking about snow and the weather and Squid Games. What are you wittering on about? So have you got any nominations? Reedy, I'm not going to lie, it was a really tough week. Nobody stepped up to the plate. I mean, we could go for the Newcastle owners for giving Bruce one game and getting rid, but we all knew that was coming. But thankfully, another Premier League manager stepped in and saved the day. Was it Solskjaer again? No, Reedy, not Ollie this time. No less than Champions League winner Mr. Thomas Tuchel. Ted, comments before the Malmo game? The very ones, Reedy, the very ones. Okay, so in case you missed it, and I always like to get the quotes out just in case, the lawyers are watching. Mr. Tuchel was doing his press conference prior to the Malmo game and discussing his selection, claiming players such as Mount, Jorginho and Lukaku were all looking very tired. Now, he's not the first manager to roll out the very tired excuse, but he also said they have a lot of weight to carry playing for their countries. Okay, so, Mason Mount, top midfielder for England. But he saved the best till last. And let me just quote. He said, when you play 1,000 matches a year... Whoa, Horsey! Rewind 1 second, Horsey. 1,000 matches a year, Thomas? That's 2 3/4 games every day. So, are you doing that in training? Does this include kickabouts in the car park? How on earth are you playing 2 3/4 games every single day? Even on a match day, there's only one on a match day. Where are the other 1 3/4 coming from? He's a buffoon, really, isn't he? His maths is shocking. It's terrible, Ted. Just nonsense. Absolute white noise nonsense. So Thomas Tuchel, for your ridiculous comments, your total exaggeration, you are without a doubt Ted's little knob of the week for this week. I've told him 1,000,000 times not to exaggerate, Reedy. Very good, Ted. See you later for How Old the Reveal. Oh yes, our 1,000th gets. Yeah, see you later, Ted. Anyway, last week we kicked off a new feature which was totally music based and totally not me based. Kian Says Listen Up was our new feature last week. He gave you the brilliant Sam Fender last week with Spit of You. So let's see what he's got for us this week. Without further ado, here's Listen Up with Kian.
Right, hello everyone. Welcome back to another Kian Says Listen Up. This week's song is by a band called the Skinner Brothers. They're currently supporting Kasabian on tour. I met them on Wednesday, literally just before Kasabian came on. They were in the crowd, just walking around really. I think they might have been leaving, but I caught them before they left and said hello. They got a new song coming out. I think it's November 4th. I might be wrong, but go to their Instagram. The link's in the bio to pre-save it and stuff. But this week's song is called Away Days, and yeah, it's just a song about away days really. It's good. It's a great song. They're a good band as well, so they're still up and coming. And, supporting Kasabian, they're supporting the streets, so there's big things out there for them. So yeah, Away Days by the Skinner Brothers. Give it a listen.
So there you go then. This week's banger of a tune is by the Skinner Brothers, who are currently supporting Kasabian on their tour with the tune Away Days. So go and download it, listen to it, find it on all your streaming platforms. You won't be disappointed. Trust me, they are very, very good lads. And maybe they'll be coming on the show. We're working on it. Anyway, talking of little tunes.
Look like you.
Yes, there it is. It's back. The part of the show where we bring together a footballer and somebody from another walk of life. And this week, we head to the Toon. You may remember, they were the club that got taken over last week. I don't know if you've heard at all. No, it's barely been mentioned. Anyway, there's a midfielder who started the new owner's reign in glorious fashion. He came on as a sub on the hour, managed to get himself 2 yellow cards and sent off by the 83rd minute. A certain Mr. John Joe Shelvey. Now, to be honest, the options are endless with our mate John Joe, but we like this one. So this week's
Look like you.
There you go, John Joe Shelvey and Dr. Evil for the Austin Powers movies. Truly, truly wonderful. So, enough of that nonsense. Earlier on in the week, I had the chance to catch up with singer-songwriter, the brilliant Dean Dovey, who as well as that is a huge Birmingham City fan. I guarantee you a lot of laughs in this chat. It was great fun. At the end of it, there's a clip of the man Dean himself in action. So trust me, sit back, relax. Here is Zooming In with Dean Dovey. So zooming in, returns today, and I'm delighted to say we are joined by none less than singer, stroke songwriter, and massive Birmingham City fan, Mr. Dean Dovey. How are we, Dean?
Hey, Mark, you all right, pal?
Yes,
How you doing?
very, very, very good, mate. Good to have you on the show. Nice to have another Birmingham fan. You're not the first Birmingham fan because we had the boys from Overpass on here going back some time.
Oh, yeah.
So so you're not our first Birmingham fan, but first one in a while.
Cool. Keep right on. That's what I say.
Well, there you go. There it is. It didn't take us long, but less than a minute, and we got the keep right on. So first off, as I say to every musical guest we ever have on here, there will be people out there who don't know about you, what you're about, what your music's about. So just a brief introduction for those people, Dean, and what you're all about.
Yeah, I'm a singer-songwriter. I've been in a couple of bands, did all right. Pretty much everything I've wrote has been played on the local BBC introducing, so I must be all right.
You're too modest, man. Too modest.
Yeah, I must be all right. Now I'm on my own, so I'm loving it. You know, I've got I think 6 tunes now on my Spotify. I'm going to record again next week for a 7th tune. Hopefully, I'll have some. I'll get them, put them together on like an EP to flog, as I say, some CDs and that.
So an impromptu question, because I never thought of this. So obviously you've been in a band and you're now a solo artist.
Yeah.
So the fundamental differences between the two? Obviously you have to work more as it was a group with a band. How much more do you enjoy being on your own, or how much more did you enjoy being in a band?
I prefer it now. I've got to admit, it's a lot less stressful.
Yeah.
Because I only have to please myself, if you know what I mean. I don't have to please anybody else, or I can't get upset by somebody not stepping up to the mark or my expectations, you know what I mean? So I think I'm definitely healthier on my own, I think, at the moment. So I wouldn't mind to have it'd be nice to have a band to play my songs live. So I'm not counting that out at all. But when it comes to writing and recording, I'm finding I'm doing better stuff on my own with my the guy I record with. It seems to be working well. You know, I feel a lot freer to explore different things and different sounds, and I don't know, I just get carried away with it really. When I'm in the studio, it's like being in a sweet shop. That's how I compare it. I'll have some of that.
Fab.
So, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I am really enjoying it on my own now. So it's just a lot more stress free, I'd say.
Yeah, good stuff. So now we agreed start of last week that you were going to come on here this week for me. So I did what I do with everyone who ever comes on here. I'll go away and I batter their music for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Now I'm no musical expert, and my one go-to is to try and compare you to someone else, because that's what I do every single time.
Yeah.
But by God, you were the easiest one to compare, but in the most complimentary way it will ever say. Yeah. Richard Ashcroft, step aside.
Yeah,
here is the Brummy Richard Ashcroft. Oh my God, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I've had that lots. He's like a big inspiration of mine. You know, I've always said if it wasn't for Live Forever by Oasis, then I wouldn't have got into music. But if it wasn't for Lucky Man by The Verve, I wouldn't have started playing music or playing the acoustic guitar. So that's it. That was a song that really I thought, do you know what? I really want to play that. You know, I think it was the video when he's looking over the Thames and he's got that cool guitar, and I just thought, I want to be like you, mate.
Well, I had the good fortune when they supported Oasis at Earl's Court, The Verve, and I had the good fortune of seeing him live, and the man was absolutely unbelievable. He really was superb. It must have been one of the shall we say enhancement-free days that he had when he was performing, because he was right on it. He was very, very good.
He's got such a great sweet voice.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a lot of rock. He's got a rock tone in there, but he's also, you know, what I'd say, he can sing properly as well, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, he can do proper singing, which I like. So, it is the main reason why I do what I do, I suppose.
Oh, well, I think that the biggest compliment we could pay you then is genuinely the likeness is unbelievable. Honestly, it was staggering. and in the most complimentary way I can give it. You're not a stars in their eyes version of Richard Ashcroft. You are genuinely bang on. It was super.
Yeah, I
really,
like to think you can hear the influence there, but I do try my hardest to sing in my own style. I really do not like copying people. So, but obviously, because he's such a big influence, sometimes it's just there. Do you know what I mean? It just happens. But I think over the years my voice has developed its own style. When I first started, it was very Liam-y, very Richard Ashcrofty. But now I do think it's gone off in its own style now, which is good, because I like to say I hate to copy people. No. That's not what I'm about, you know. But yeah, you can hear it. You can hear it sometimes. I sound like him again. But it's not a bad thing, is it?
I tell you what, there's worse people to be compared to, aren't there? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So the last single, Borrowed Time, came out in July. So how's that been received in general?
It went mad, that song. It was it got airplay. It was the first time I got airplay on Radio XS in Manchester. So, and that was a big deal to me, because I think if you get played on a main radio in Manchester, where, you know, it's kind of the home of indie music, really, I just couldn't believe it, you know. I got the playlist, and there was Borrowed Time next to Noel Gallagher and the Foo Fighters, and it is I was showing it to the wife. I was like, look, come on here, look.
Oh, that's epic.
And that was mad. Yeah, that was really, from something I've made to be recognised by such a station like that. That was massive. But I can't forget all the amazing online stations that have supported me since I've been going. You know, there's so many great people out there that have really supported me, and I'll be forever grateful. So
yeah, and I think, you know, that Twitter gets a lot of bad press for a lot of reasons, and some of them rightly so. But from the music aspect, the Twitter music family, if you like, is incredible. Absolutely unbelievable. It really is.
Yeah, there is a big collective on there for music. It's quite a thing, really. I got to admit, I did struggle at first with Twitter. I just couldn't get my head around it, and I'd put posts on there, or I'd post my early stuff, and I wouldn't get much reaction. I was just thinking, you know what, I'm gonna knock it on the head. But eventually people started picking it up, and then they introduce it to other groups and other bands and artists, and then they share your stuff, you share their stuff, and it's a great collective on there.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. So if you could give your 16-year-old self starting up in music one piece of advice, what would it be, knowing what you know now?
Believe in yourself more, and stay away from the birds for a while longer.
Oh, without a shadow of doubt, the best answer I've heard.
Yeah, you don't need them just yet. Just go with the music first, and then they'll come after. Don't do it the way around, because you end up not doing music.
Oh, superb. So if you were to cover one sort, say, what would be your go-to cover song if you had to do a cover on a gig? If the rules were you got to do one cover song on a gig, what would be your go-to cover song?
Well, I've got to admit, I've probably played Lucky Man thousands of times, or most of the other Verve songs, Oasis. But the song that works every time, and it's like probably so many people do it, but it's Neil Diamond's Sweet Caroline. It just works every time. Like we did a gig with my covers band yesterday afternoon, and then I did a gig the week before, and every time it never fails, fails ever. The whole pub just sings, even if they haven't been singing with you before, like earlier in the set. As soon as you play that song, that they are on your side every time, never fails. So yeah, it'd have to be that. There's just something about that song, Sweet Caroline, isn't it? It's just even people I even go and start playing and go, oh, I hate this one. Some of them will go, but they still sing and dance to it.
Of course, that's what we do.
So it just I don't know, that it'd have to be that one. It's just never fails.
Right. So little bit more tricky. Well, the first bit's not tricky. The second bit is. So you could collaborate with one artist, dead or alive. Who would you go for?
The Doors.
Oh,
The Doors, yeah.
good choice.
I had this conversation the other day actually, and I think I said something like, hopefully, like if I was to go back to the '60s, late '60s, and say Jim Morrison was hammered and he couldn't do the gig, I'd be like, don't worry, Jim, I'll do it for you tonight.
I've got this.
You know what I mean? And then just to be famous. I mean, I'd love to sing alongside Jim, but to have Manzarek and Densmore and Krieger behind you making that amazing sound, and you just stand, that would be amazing. That wouldn't it?
Okay,
like,
so here's the test then. So you get the opportunity to collaborate with the Doors. Obviously, we'll have to, metaphorically speaking, for obvious reasons,
yeah.
but you have to give up music the next day and never play again. Would you do it?
No, I don't think I could. I don't think I could, because it's like, I mean, sometimes you have highs and lows in music. So like one week you can be like riding on a high, and then the next week you could just you're moping around, you're thinking, God, I'm crap, I'm shit. Why am I bothering? And and you just think, oh, do you know what? Fuck this, I'm not going to do it anymore. I can't be arsed. But it always comes back. Like I'll be walking the dog, and next minute I've got this melody in my head, and I've got these words coming on. It begins again, and I'm like, oh, God, here we go again. So I don't think I could physically stop it, because it's been such a great thing for my mind, if you know what I mean. I've had some mental health issues in the past, and I find it really helps my mind. It I don't know, it just seems to occupy my mind and wake it up sometimes from a bit of gloom.
Yeah.
And it gives me something to focus on. And so yeah, I don't think I could. I think I'd be so bloody miserable if that is. Sorry, the Doors. Sorry, man. Sorry, lads. I can't do it, lads. Sorry.
Fair play, Joe. So when can we expect anything new from you, Dean? Have you got anything new in the pipeline that will be getting released anytime soon?
So recording next Saturday, a new song, and then it'll probably a couple of weeks after that, maybe 2-3 weeks after that. So you're probably looking at mid-November for my next single. And then once I've got that done, I'm going to shove all my previous ones and that one on a CD, and I'll have to get some physical copies out there. And because at the moment everything's just digital, and it'd be nice to get my bank app up and actually sell some CDs, because I listen to them myself, and when you listen to them in the car, they're even better in the car.
Yeah.
So that'd be nice, that'd be nice to have something. I did it with my last band where we had some proper nice CDs, man. They look great, and so it'd be nice to do that.
And like you say, it's something physical, isn't it, rather than just doing that on your phone?
Yeah. But so many people, even though they download your stuff or stream it, they still want the physical stuff as well. Just that even if they don't buy it, play it, it's just there in their collection.
Yeah, just to say they've got it.
Yeah. So that'd be nice. Hopefully I'll get that done before Christmas, ready for all the Christmas presents.
Good stuff. And Christmas #1 as well, of course.
That's it, yeah.
Happy days.
It's all there. It's all it's all in the planning, isn't it?
So football then, and the blue side of Birmingham. You're a massive Birmingham City fan, now managed by the legend that is Lee Bowyer. So without being rude, it does feel like a club that's lost its way in the recent years. Is that fair to say?
Big time, yeah. Big time. We won that League Cup, and then we ain't been seen again since, have we, really? Yeah. We've just struggled constantly fighting relegation. I think it's not always necessarily to do with what manager we have. It's to do with the owners. They're just not very good. Not very good owners. I don't even know what they own us for, because they don't really. There's no clear plan what they want to do. So a lot of Blues fans are really fed up.
Yeah.
We're a decent club. We've got potential, but I don't know. It seems like our whole existence we've been managed or owned poorly.
Yeah.
Apart from maybe the Karen Brady and the Gold Brothers days.
Yeah.
When they redone our ground and got us up in the Premier League. But yeah, it's even now I think people are worrying again now because we seem to have lost quite a few on the bounce now. I don't think we've scored in about 6 games.
Bloody hell.
So, poor old Lee is feeling the wrath already, I think.
Well, I was going to say, so his appointment, I guess it did seem to reignite things. And at the end of last season, he seemed to galvanise things and you pulled away quite comfortably from relegation.
Yeah.
Was there any high expectations on him this season, or was it most of you kind of almost accepted it was going to be another tough year?
Well, I thought we just, because I looked at the signings we made, they weren't like, we weren't pulling up any trees. A lot of them were players who weren't really getting in the first team of their own clubs, or they were from League One. I think the best signing was Chong from Man United. Yeah. He's quality. He's head and shoulders above anybody else we got. And then it seems to have gone wrong since we signed Troy Deeney. When we signed Troy Deeney, it was like, oh, here we go, we're going up, we're going to go up. And ever since we've signed him, we've lost every game. I don't know. It's there's been rumours something's gone off on the training ground with him and another player. So I don't know what's going on. But he didn't even get on the pitch on Friday night against the Baggies. So there's something going on. It's something's not right.
No.
But it's a shame. For a moment, everyone was like, "Yes, you brought such a big atmosphere back to the place," and now it's just died a death again.
It's painful, and there's nothing worse than when you know in October that realistically potentially just facing either mid-table mediocrity or a fight against the bottom 3. There is just nothing worse, just desperate. Yeah.
I think I always thought that at the start, I just thought, I think we could be mid-table or just above. But I worked with a lot of Derby fans, and they were predicting us to go in the playoffs, and I couldn't see it. And then we had a great start, and I thought, you know what? I think they're right. Here we go. And as soon as I start thinking that's it. We haven't won since.
Yeah, the joy of football. Build you up to knock you back down.
That's it, yeah. So sometimes I really get fed up with it.
Oh, tell me about it. Honestly, there's nothing worse. Is there anything worse on a Saturday afternoon about 5 o'clock when you've lost? It just fucks your whole weekend. Nobody will ever tell me any different. It just ruins the rest of your weekend.
Yeah, it puts you in the right arse.
Yeah.
And like, you got to go and have your curry, and it don't go down as nice as it.
So, favourite ever Bron player? Not necessarily the best, just your favourite. The one, if you were back in the playground today, that's who you'd want to be. So,
is this alive or seen or past?
No, anything. Past, present.
He'd have to be Trevor Francis. I mean, obviously I've never seen him, but I did go to his games when he was manager.
Yeah.
But all the old footage from the 70s, and you see how he was, the Blues. He was mad. It was like our George Best, really.
Yeah.
And my dad, who's a Blue Nose, he lived pretty much around the corner from the ground, and he used to knock around with Trevor when before we got in the first team. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, he'd have to just by looking at the old footage, I watch it quite a bit sometimes, and watch him, and he was great. Well, a great player.
Silky footballer, wasn't he?
That's it, yeah. And he is. Every Blues fan will tell you, he's the one. He's the legend.
Yeah.
There's only one Trevor Francis.
So on the flip side, worst one.
Oh bloody hell! There's been so many.
Everyone I have on here say the same thing. We've had so many.
So many. Oh my god. Worse. My god, that is such a difficult question to actually pick one out. Oh my god. Gotta be a midfielder, because we've had crap midfielders over the years. I cannot think of one because there's so many. Really
brilliant.
can't think of one.
It's always my favourite because everyone always says the same. No matter, I've had Liverpool fans on, Celtic fans on here that all say this. Oh, we've had so many. You're like, really?
Really? Yeah. Come step in my shoes, mate.
Come and follow us in League One for 2 or 3 seasons, and then tell us how shit your midfield was.
It's like you spend your whole life suffering either mediocrity or crap. You know what I mean?
Bad, isn't it? When mediocrity is good, that's how bad it is.
I tell you what, there was a player a couple of years, I can't even remember his name, but we got him from France. He was a big guy, real big guy. Oh, what was his name? And he was just a complete donkey. Absolute donkey. I can't remember his name. But we got him from France and he didn't last long. He ended up going back.
Right, if you can remember that Birmingham, if you're watching this and you can remember that Birmingham player's name, put it in the comments below.
Yeah.
So
got him from a French club called Angers or something like that. They were in the 2nd division. And like, I'm sure it was Harry Redknapp that bought him as well.
Was it? Oh, there we go. Well, mate, he's bought the odd dud for teams.
Oh, he saved us from relegation and then he completely ruined us.
Yeah. As he does to so many clubs.
Absolutely ruined us. He put all these players and we're like, what on earth is he doing? He didn't last long then, I tell you. I'm sure it was his fault that while we had a points deduction because he just spent so much money.
Yeah.
And then we sacked him and then we were in trouble after then.
Yeah, good old Harry, the media's favourite.
Yeah. Oh, and fair play, he kept us up. You know, we looked doomed. He kept us up that one year. But that was another year where it was like, hey, up, we got Harry, we're going to get straight up here the next year. You know, I think he was sacked after about 3 or 4 games.
So, now the difficult football question. So, it's an either or, but you can only have one. So, Birmingham win the championship.
Yeah.
But Villa finish in the top 4 and win the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Or you finish in the playoffs. I can't say if you win or lose, but Villa end mid-table with nothing.
It's got playoffs with Villa with nothing, isn't it?
I love it. Football fans are brilliant. Honestly, we're the weirdest bunch, football fans, aren't we? We'd rather see our rivals suffer than have our own joy.
Yeah, you know, a lot of the time I say to Villa fans, like some at work, and I'll say, you know, I just want to see you suffer. You know, I want to see you have some pain for a good 10 years. You know what I mean? Just real hardship. And I thought that was coming when they went down, Villa. And then, as usual, they land on the feet. Some guy comes in, spends millions, and then that's it. And now they're back up there. And it's just so frustrating. You know? Doesn't matter what we do, they always land on their feet.
I love that.
I'd take the playoffs, knowing that we could potentially not go up for it, and them to finish with nothing.
Love it. I love it. I love that answer.
By the way, I took great joy today with my fellow Villa fans at work about their loss to the Wolves on Saturday. I did enjoy that.
It was mildly amusing, wasn't it?
2-0 up, and then they lost to the 3-2 to the Dingles.
So the bit the musicians love, mate. So this is where you get to pick your 5-a-side team. Simple rules. The only rules are you have to have seen and play live. It's 1 goalie, 1 defender, 2 midfielders, and 1 striker. So who are we going for between the sticks, Dean?
It'd have to be Mike Taylor.
Mike Taylor.
Yeah, he was our goalie when we was, you know, having the decent run in the Premier League. I wouldn't say he was like world class, but he was a good, solid keeper. Yeah, I don't think he ever let us down really. I'll go with Mike Taylor. And
there's a player who, for years, I called Make because it was M-A-I-K, wasn't it? Mike. For years, I called him Make Taylor.
I've even remembered that because I wrote it down here, M-A-I-K, and I didn't even think about it.
Weird things you remember about footballers. And the first one to pick him as well. There you go. It's his first selection, so happy days.
Yeah.
So your only defender then?
I'm going to go with Scott Dan.
Scott Dan.
Yeah, he was. I think he was a central partnership with Johnson when we had a really great year in the Premier League. Really great year. And I think it was the next year we went down, but we won the League Cup. But he's a solid defender. He was really solid, and he's proved to be, because he spent the rest of his career at Crystal Palace in the Premier League.
And I think you nailed it there, because I think when they went their separate ways, it was crystal clear which one of the two was the better of the two central defenders. Because Dan stayed at the top level for years and years, and Johnson really, really struggled, didn't he, when he went elsewhere?
Yeah, he fell away, didn't he? I think he went to Wolves, I think.
Yeah, that's it. So, right, Scotty Dan. So Mike Taylor, Scotty Dan. So who are we having as a first of your midfielders, mate?
Got to be Barry Ferguson.
Top player.
Top midfielder he was. A lot of people thought he couldn't do it in the Premier League, but he was a top midfielder for us. He was brilliant.
Vastly underrated.
Yeah, he was absolutely quality.
Yeah.
One of my favourite Blues players. Really, really good player. Really dogged. Great passer of the ball. He was a scrapper as well. He could win the ball back. He had everything, I think. He'd score goals as well. He was a great player.
I watched him for Scotland a lot, and he used to get a lot of stick from Scotland fans because he wasn't your archetypal Scottish midfielder, because he did keep the ball and he kept it really, really well. But at the time, we weren't used to that. It was all very much get it forward to the big man and we'll challenge off a bit. And he was so different from anyone else that we'd ever had in the centre of midfield. And he was just class, absolute class. He really was.
Everything went through Barry Ferguson all the time. He was the main figure of the team. Great midfielder. I'll never forget watching him.
Fantastic shout, and he'd be spot on a five-a-side pitch. You'd never get the ball off him, would you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, who are you having alongside him then?
It's got to be Robbie Savage.
Controversial selection.
He was a perfect fit for Birmingham City. He was absolute perfect fit. Because all he used to do was just piss everybody off, didn't he? And he was just
and still does.
And still does, yeah. And he was such a great fit for us. And he was, to be fair, he was better than what a lot of people give him credit for, I think. But yeah, and he used to really piss the Villa fans off as well, which was nice.
I'm going to back you up 100%, because I went to watch him. We're going back years. He was at Leicester, and they played at Villa, and I was on a corporate day with work, and Savage was absolutely unbelievable. The game he played that afternoon was just incredible. He covered every blade of grass the entire game. He was getting on the end of crosses in the opposition box. He was defending crosses. He was brilliant. And I think it's because he behaved like such a prick. He never got the recognition that he deserved, which is a little bit unfair, because actually there was a really good footballer in there. But it was just his, like you said, because he pissed everyone off, and he did. The sort of bloke you'd love on your team, but you don't want to see him against you.
Yeah. Great player, real great player. And I always loved watching him, especially when we played Villa.
Well, the infamous Dion Dublin incident, of course.
They hated him. They hated him big time. But what a midfielder that is. Ferguson and Savage.
It's not too bad, is it? To be fair,
I wish we had that now. We wouldn't be in the Championship with that.
Even now.
Yeah. Great.
So, just a striker then. Stick the ball in the net.
Yeah. So I'm not going to go for a blue striker, because we don't have that many great strikers, to be honest. We always, as long as I remember, we're the lowest scorers in the league every season. So I'm going to go for a player who I saw in a League Cup final with Liverpool. I was there at the Millennium Stadium, Liverpool versus Blues.
Yeah.
And it was Robbie Fowler. And he tore us to pieces. Even though we took him to penalties, he tore us to pieces that afternoon.
Yeah.
And I just thought, wow, this guy, his league's above everything I had on here. Great, crazy, just such a natural striker. And so Robbie Fowler would be my striker. He was brilliant.
Yeah, I can't argue. I mean, I've seen him obviously signed for us after Liverpool, and we probably had a season and a half, maybe 2 seasons out of him. And when he was on it, he was just different class. He was just incredible. Some of his finishing. Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure he scored that. I can't remember. I'm sure he scored that day as well. Because it finished 1-1. I think we got a penalty in the last minute, and we took it to penalties. And to be fair, we actually played really well that day. You know, we were a championship team. They were Premier League. Gerard Houllier was their manager then.
Yeah.
And we played really well. And I was there behind the goal when we got that penalty in to make it 1-1. But I'm sure I'm positive Robbie Fowler scored, and it was a mega goal. It was really good.
It was from about 30 odd yards out, wasn't it?
I'm sure it was, yeah.
I'm having flashbacks now. I'm an old man, so I have these flashbacks every now and then.
Sure it was. Like I mean, I was pissed. So
you got an excuse for not remembering.
Yeah, we went down in a limousine.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And
you rock star, you.
Yeah, we had about, I think there was about 8 of us in the back, and we had loads of blueies on and everything. Bluey movies. And my dad was there as well, and I remember we got in a traffic jam just as we were getting into Cardiff, and who was to pull alongside was Barry Fry.
Oh God!
Our old manager, and we're like windows down. Right, Barry, and he was like, "All right, lads." And he was a legend. He was. And,
for all the kids watching, obviously blue movies were like old Birmingham games, yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Of course, yeah. But yeah, we was absolutely hammered by the time we got there. Champagne and all kinds of stuff going on.
Brilliant.
But yeah, it was a great afternoon. It was sad to lose, but I do remember watching Robbie Fowler, thinking, what a striker he is.
Yeah, no, he's a class act. So we got Mike Taylor, Scotty Dan, Barry Ferguson, Robbie Savage, Robbie Fowler. It's not bad. Yeah. It's not a bad side, Dean, to be fair, is it?
Not bad. It's not bad, is it? I mean, if it wasn't Robbie Fowler, I think I would have gone for Rooney, because I did watch him at St Andrews when we played Man U. I would have gone for him. I remember we was right at the front by the pitch, and he come down. We was next to the tunnel, and at half time he come down the tunnel. I remember his legs were like they were wider than me. Like, Jesus, like an animal. So it would have been him, but no, I've got to go with Robbie Fowler.
No, well, that's fair enough. Dean, I've absolutely loved that. It's been brilliant. It's been a good, fun chat. We've got a few laughs along the way. So, as always, there will be a clip of Dean in action when we finish this conversation. But more importantly, people, as I always say, every time I have a musical artist on here, please, please, please go and listen to their music. They do this for the love of it. They don't do it to get mega rich. They just do it because they enjoy doing it. You'd like to get mega rich, I'm sure, Dean.
Oh, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be nice to wouldn't it?
But he'd get just as much satisfaction out of listening to his music. That's what he does it for, is for your enjoyment. And they give up their time to come on here onto my show as well, which is always much appreciated. So, Dean, thank you so, so much for coming on, my friend. Loved your company for the half hour or so we've been on. And here is a clip of the man himself in action. Here's Dean Dovey.
If the darkness is my weakness, then only brightness can be my guidance. I need to touch her, I long to see her. Let me tell you, friend, how she left me so fragile, too weak to handle. Yeah, the battle is done. I think this fever's got hold of my soul, giving in just to losing control. Need my nightmares to tender my bones. And how many times do I wait for the phone, knowing she ain't gonna call? She was my woman,
There we go then. What an absolute top man. Very, very entertaining. And on top of that, a superb artist. So, as we always say, off the trot, download his tunes, give them a listen. And honestly, you will not be disappointed. Hang on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Get back here. Get back here. Download them after you've watched this. For God's sake. So Dean Dovey, any of the music platform, if you're a Richard Ashcroft fan, trust me, you will love him because he's so, so good, honestly. You won't be disappointed. So, the road to Wembley. Sad times. Peterborough Sports went out. I was a bit gutted, really, because they were good fun on here last week. So, they went to Kings Lynn. By God, they put up a hell of a fight. It was 1-1 at half-time. Remember, they were playing conference side Kings Lynn, full-time Kings Lynn. Sadly, the home side scored a second in the second half, made it 2-1. It went on 10 minutes of stoppage time there was in the second half, but they couldn't find the equaliser to take them back for a replay. So, we are now following Kings Lynn Town. So, can we get anyone on here from Kings Lynn Town? I will be throwing down the gauntlet to them to see if they're willing to step up to the plate. Can we get Ian Culverhouse, the ex-Norwich City legend, on here? Now, that would be something, wouldn't it, if we could get him on here? We'll give it a go, see what we can do. They have drawn Walsall at home in the next round. So, a chance for Cup shock. We could be in on it. So, Kings Lynn Town, our new FA Cup team. This weekend, it's FA Vars action. You may recall we're now following Tor Point after they knocked out Stoke Gabriel in the last round. Boo! Boo! But no, Tor Point, we are now right behind you. So, they entertain Chipping Sodbury on Saturday. If you win, we'll forgive knocking Stoke Gabriel out and we'll fall in love with you for the rest of the Vars trophy. So come on, Tor Point, do not let us down. So, lineal European Cup times, and the fairy tale of Freiburg keeps on rolling. It's incredible. Now, they fell behind against RB Leipzig, but an equaliser from Wu Yongzhong meant a 1-1 draw, and the lineal European Cup remained in its home for the 6th game on the trot. Next up, they got a bit of a trickier test this week. They travelled to Wolfsburg as they look to keep the dream alive and keep the trophy in their cupboard. So up the Freiburg boys, can they carry on this great run? In the lineal UEFA Cup, it was virtually a carbon copy, to be honest, as the boys from Borussia Mönchengladbach defending the trophy. They drew 1-1 at home with Stuttgart. Again, they fell 1-0 behind, but a first half equaliser from Jonas Hoffmann made sure they kept their version of the cup. They're back on the road defending this week. They travel to Hertha Berlin. Can we still have Freiburg and Borussia Mönchengladbach after this weekend? Remember, all I need to draw. The other sides have got to win to take the trophy off of them. So we'll see what happens next week. But, as I've disappeared off screen, can only mean I'm helping the little man up. The return of Ted, which means it's time to reveal the age of this week's How Old. So Ted, was this week's any easier? Really? Are you kidding? This game is, and always has been, an utter joke. Ted, it's a bit of fun, a bit of lightheartedness brought into a world full of doom and gloom and misery. But really, it fills me with doom and gloom. I never get it right. Well, you never know. Maybe today's the day. So what are you thinking? Well, I'm thinking usually he has his hand up the back of a puppet's arse. I think he's a ventriloquist. No, Ted. He was a footballing goal-scoring machine. And for the record, I don't think ventriloquists put their hands up puppets' arses. Really, they do. I mean, at least you got the decency to hold me by the neck. Well, yeah, because I'm not a ventriloquist. Otherwise, I'd be doing it like, but I'm crap at ventriloquy, so we have to do this whole charade where you talk into my ear like this. This is true, Reedy. I know. I nearly blew that as well, didn't I? Anyway, so Ted, how old are you going for? I'm going for 36, Reedy. Okay, Ted, well, let's see. So when this photo of Andy Lockhead was taken, he was 30 years old. No, Reedy, no. Just wrong on every level. No way was he only 30 years of age. Absolute joke of a show. Get me off it now. Okay, Ted. See you next week, mate. Getting it wrong again, while I see. Anyway, as they say in Hollywood, guys, that's a wrap. It's been another good one, I think. Well, I enjoyed it anyway. 60 episodes now completed. So don't forget, if you haven't already, please click the subscribe down below. It means so much to get those subscribers, especially when you come back and watch. That's even better. Do not forget to ring the little bell so you never miss another episode. Drop your comments below. Drop as you like. We love all of those. But for now, everyone, on board the BTFM bus, because next stop, ding ding, will be on Saturday the 30th of October for what will be episode 61. So as always, guys, until then, stay safe.